Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Oh man, been a long day. Time to shut her down, get a shower, get a meal, start feeling a little bit human. Want to touch base with y'all. Just got a comment on that video I did limping it in. And I think it was a young lady or a lady. I don't know their ages from their name. But someone made a comment about, you know, they would do it as long as it wouldn't get them in trouble with DOT if they got pulled over or inspected. And you got to know when to say no, folks. I replied back to them and told them this is where you need to know what is a shutdown violation. No company should be asking you to limp it in an illegal truck. I mean, they shouldn't do it. That is going to be your call, basically. Now, it could get you in trouble. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back with you. Sorry about that. But you have to know when to say no on a lot of stuff out here. With young rookie drivers, young in the experience, not in the age, a lot of these companies really push you. They really ask you to do some stuff that, boy, them sure are spotted, that is very questionable, especially if you don't know better. And I'm fixing to pull right up there if he pulls out. Yeah, I'll stay here. One slot, what's the matter? I'm in Little America out here at Flagstaff. Their parking is very limited, especially with construction going on, and the whole back row is taken up, except the hole I got. And I've been watching some of you guys trying to park in here. I'm kind of protected back here. I think I'll stay here. Nothing personal, just experience. But anyway, these companies will push you because they know that you don't have the knowledge and experience. And they know they can intimidate you and use peer pressure, force, whatever you want to call it, and get you to go and do a little bit of stuff that I wouldn't do. So you need to really pay attention. Don't get out here and be playing super trucker and listening to all the nonsense and learning all the great stories to tell and all that. Educate yourself. Just because you got your CDL don't mean you've got it all figured out. Continue to educate yourself. Know when to say no. During the winter times, almost every winter, we have some major pileup on the snowy, icy roads. And it is normally these large companies, because they are pushing these drivers and trying to force them to go. That road isn't too snowy on their computer screen. You know, if they're in Georgia or Florida or Texas or California, road's a great, driver. Why'd you stop? You have to know your limitations and when to stop. You have to know when to say no. Same thing when the wind's blowing. Like today, winds was blowing pretty good coming across 40. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, but we had a few good gushes, which got me thinking about making this video. I was debating on it, and then I got that message from that young gal. And you got to know when to say no. You get up there on 80 and 90 and stuff, they'll close the highway down due to high winds. That dispatcher don't see it that way. So you have to cover your butt. Remember, whenever you get in an accident or whatever happens, they're not going to call your dispatcher and ask them why they had you out there driving. They're not going to ask you why you was driving that truck that should have been shut down. They're not going to ask that dispatcher why you was out there driving on that snowy road. They're not going to ask that dispatcher why you was out there driving in that heavy wind with an empty trailer. They're going to be asking all them questions of you. And I'll tell you now, companies will throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. They make all these safety rules and make you sign off on a bunch of them. You know, the safety department does. And then you have that dispatcher that's telling you that you got to break it or you'll lose your job. Or you'll miss that appointment. You do blah, blah, you know. They try to pressure you hard. And you have to make the decision when to put your foot down and say, enough's enough. No, I'm not going. And you might have to make a decision right along with it on, am I going to be looking for another job? So if you refuse to go because of snowy roads or any safety issues and you get fired, I'd contact me, a lawyer. Because if you feel that whatever means, the weather or the truck or whatever, is not safe, and they're trying to force you to continue going and you don't feel safe, and they fire you because you man up and say no, you may have a lawsuit. I don't know. And I don't encourage lawsuits. I hate lawsuits. Lawsuits ain't good for none of us, especially out here in this industry. However, I do know how some of these big companies will push you. Been there and played that game. Been a long time ago. Now I drive for companies like this one. They know I'll go when I feel good to go. I don't outdrive my comfort zone. Dadgummit, all this stuff's coming unglued with this heat. How does it work? Been up there so long I forget. But that's how it works. But yeah, when I first started here, I had them super singles on here, and I did outdrive my comfort zone. I really did. But that was because I wasn't sure if it was me being paranoid of the super singles or if they was really being as squirrely as I thought they was. And it turned out it was them. You know, so I did outdrive my comfort zone once or twice, and I told the young man that was dispatching me, and yeah, I was 20 years his senior, so his young man, and I told him, well, I done outdrove my comfort zone twice for y'all, just trying to figure out if it was me or the tires or the truck or what, and ain't playing that no more. And he says, okay. And he says, when you don't feel safe, stop. And that's how it should be. And the last several companies, last several years, those are the kind of companies I drive for. You're the one out there on the road. You're the loose nut behind the steering wheel. It's your call. You need to call it. So don't let somebody behind a computer somewhere make those calls. That's part of the issues I'm having with this company now, with the woman dispatching me. I feel like she's trying to micromanage me, and she's trying to make calls for my truck off of her computer because it looked good on paper, as we used to say. Well, don't look worth a damn in my truck. Through my window, it's not a good scenario. So, and I don't know if we're going to get those resolved or not. So, we'll see. If not, I'll go to someone else. Go to another dispatcher. I don't care. I have my, I'm a pretty good driver, and I'm always cutting up and carrying on. I try to be the one that brings a smile to your eyes and a laugh to your heart. I try to be that person wherever I go. However, I have my limitations and I have my woe. We don't go no farther. This is the line. We ain't crossing it. And that's what y'all need to learn. So now, with all that being said, Let me give you a warning to be awful careful of how you're drawing that line. Make sure you are correct. Don't start refusing to go places and do stuff because you think it's not safe. Then you find out you was wrong. Kind of like me talking about them super singles. I didn't know if it was me or them, so I had to make sure. Well, you have to find your way to make sure of whatever the issue is. And a lot of times, if you're in a big enough company and you think you have a safety issue and dispatch is trying to push you, you call your safety department. They should be your first go-to people. You can call your maintenance people. I have this going on with my truck. What do you think? Call the safety people. This is what's going on. Maintenance told me this. Dispatchers want me to go. I don't feel safe doing this. What is your verdict? And in this day and age, if you can get that in writing, so to speak, texting and quail calming or whatever else you can do, if you get any of that in writing, it's only good to cover your butt with. So, just know when to say when, folks. That's what you youngins have got to learn. And while you're still young and new out here in the industry, the big companies are going to take advantage of you. So, that's just nature of the beast out here. But, there you go. There's that rant. God bless y'all. Remember, God loves you and so do I. I don't know when I'll get to Posey's. I ain't got very good service here. Y'all have a great evening.